Hello my dears, welcome to today's live video. Today I want to talk to you about being congruent and how congruency is the real key to self-fulfillment. Have you guys noticed how transgender people are more newsworthy these days? Like whenever there's a story about someone who's famous, who's transgender, or someone who is transgender who's achieved an award, whatever it is, people like jump on the bandwagon and go, oh, look at this person, aren't they inspirational, aren't they so amazing? You ever wondered why that is? Do you know what? I've been wondering about that for a considerable time now, and I think I've hit the nail on the head. Other people are inspired by us. Other people see us as role models. Have you ever asked why is that? I think, honestly, it's because people see people who are living with their truth, who are aligning themselves to their true self, who are being congruent in who they are, and they're inspired by that and they wish it could be more the same. You know, transgender people have been around for millennia. Anyone who's transgender who's watching this says, yeah, Debs, I know that. But, you know, to anyone who doesn't know, transgender people have been around for a millennium, and we're not new. It's just that I think that more people who are transgender now, especially as transgender rights are progressing, and we have more equality in the workplace and, you know, socially and economically and just in general, the more trans people that are out in the open, it's given more people to kind of share their truth, giving them more courage to be who they are and express who they are and not really care about what other people think. And it's a real positive. I have studied psychology, and I wanted to share that with you because what I'm sharing with you guys when I'm coaching you, you know, it comes from a level of expertise. It's not like just someone sitting here randomly in front of a camera and, you know, preaching to you. I'm sharing this with you because I understand psychology, or some elements of psychology, and one of the main drives of human need is congruency. Now, if you don't know what being congruent is or what congruency means, it means that you're aligning yourself on the outside with who you are on the inside. Now, you can see why I'm drawing relevance here to someone who is transgender. Transgender people are never fully and truly happy, fulfilled, unless they're congruent, unless you live with who you are on the outside as to who you are matches on who's the person on the inside. You're going to struggle in life, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be transgender related. You could be in a relationship where you're not fulfilled, where you know the other person doesn't love you, but you stick with it because you know what, you don't feel like you could get anyone else. You could be looking to change your career. I've had a massive change in careers. I used to be in the army. I left the army. I was a chef, and then now I work in insurance. So that's my day job. My day job is this stuff, you know, training others, training corporations on trans inclusion, and, you know, supporting other people who are transgender. I've done it for 5 years now. But, you know, there is a real need, a human need, to be congruent with who you are on the inside. And if you don't, you know, it has a massive effect on you psychologically, socially, because you're not being your full self when you're with others, and your mental well-being more than anything. You know, statistics have shown that 41 to 47%, because the stats vary as to like which country stats you're looking at and which surveys that you read, but you know, if we average it out, say 44% of trans people have attempted or considered attempting suicide. That's a crazy number. And you know, I understand it because I've been there. I did try and commit suicide when I was 23 because I didn't think it would ever be possible to transition. So I'm not being flippant. It is the, you know, it is the truth. And so I understand the pain. I understand wanting to take that away. But, you know, in sharing this today, I hope this is going to inspire you to live your truth, whatever that is, or that you're going to contact me and we can work together to enable you to live your truth. I am a really great advocate for people to use coaches or mentors. And if you look at anybody who's ever a success in any field in life, whether it's ballet, whether it's singing, whether it's, I don't know, an professional athlete, even coaches, they still have mentors, people who are, you know, who have been successful. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel whenever you're trying to do anything in life. If you can learn from people who have been successful in the field that you want to be a success in, then why go and try and do it yourself? You can learn from their mistakes and they can give you teachings that you're going to be able to use. But one of the coaches that I really, really admire in such a massive, massive way is a guy called Les Brown. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, Les Brown is a coach who's been around since the 70s, a motivational speaker, someone who leads people and enables them to, you know, become better versions of who they are, and certainly that's something that I'm aspiring to be. But one of his most famous quotes says, "You don't have to be great to be started, but you have to get started in order to be great." So you don't have to great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great. And it's the same with being congruent, you know, as a transgender person, specifically because this is the example that I'm using as a reference when I'm teaching you about living with congruency. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to get things wrong, and that's fine. You know, no person in any chosen craft that they want to pursue is 100% right when they first try it. You know, whether it's being a pilot or it's driving a car. If you've driven a car, if you've ever had driving lessons, you will know when you get in the car, I guarantee you that you can't get in that car and drive it straight away as you do now. I know my first lesson, I didn't stall at the second lesson. I was really cocky and I thought, yeah, this is great, I've got this, stall this straight away. So, you know, you're never going to be 100% right at everything that you try straight away. And it's the same with being congruent. Whether it's transgender or whether it's, you know, a new career or whether it's living in a relationship and having some time on your own or getting into a new relationship, whatever it is, you're not going to be 100% at first. That's fine. The important thing is that you have to start. You're never going to be fully, truly, happily aligned and fulfilled with who and what you are if you don't start. And it's really that simple. You know, if you look at my early blogs, I was really, really nervous and stuff. And I've changed a lot. And, you know, I'm selling it from a negative viewpoint in some of the blogs that I've been doing, you know. Being transgender is not easy. It's not all peachy. And it would be wrong of me to say it is. But alongside the difficulties that I've had, the person that I've grown into, the person that I am and am able to help others through coaching, through support groups that I, you know, help run and attend, that's the difference that I have. That's the kind of thing that I'm able to do now, and I have an ability to do that because I am aligned with my truth, because I am able to show others an example of what it is to live your truth. And, you know, don't beat yourself up about not living your truth or not being congruent with who you are inside. Because if you were like me or like I used to feel, I was terrified. I was so nervous about living my truth and about being Debbie, about showing the world Debbie, about coming out to family and friends and being at work. And it is a real fear. Those fears are real. I'm not saying that they're not real. And I understand the reasons why perhaps some of you haven't made those drastic changes that you need to make in order to be truly aligned with who you are. I get it because I've lived it. But understand the person that you become when you're on your path to congruency, the person that you are able to be when you're living your truth because you're not having to hide any of who and what you are, far outweighs any of those fears that you have. You can do this. You can be brave. You got this. You've just got to start. Like I said, Les Brown says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great. So I hope you've really enjoyed watching this video. I've really, really enjoyed doing this because as well as writing the blog and on my website, please go ahead and read that because it'll help reaffirm the things that I've gone through with you today. Please download the podcast on iTunes as well. My podcast last week was number 14 in the charts on iTunes for training podcasts. Absolutely blown away. I can't believe it. But, you know, anyone can do this. You just have to start. But please, 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 if there's one thing you take away from this, it's the thing that I said earlier. A quote from Les Brown, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great. Thank you to everyone who watches this stuff, who shares this stuff, who comments on this stuff. I'm really, really proud to be able to share this with you. I hope that you've enjoyed this session. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, as they say, be yourself, no one else. Take care. Bye.